Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to Dream Big Today, and this is our new nuggets. So glad that you joined me. I want to jump into Psalm 6 for today's reading. There's 10 short verses, and it's written by David. The theme of Psalm 6 is deliverance in trouble. God is able to rescue us. So many times we get into a predicament, whatever that is, and we just don't know where to turn. And David's giving us an example on this because he has had a lot of things happen. In my commentary for this chapter, it says Psalm 6 is the first of the penitential psalms. David prays the words of this psalm when he is deeply troubled by something, possibly an illness that is possibly an illness that his own sin may have caused. Mercy in this situation is not deserved, but it's urgently needed. He says, my bones and my soul represent the whole person. So it starts out saying, Lord, don't rebuke me in your anger or discipline me in your rage. He deserves God's wrath, but he asks that God will deal with him according to his love instead. Now that's quite a way of thinking about that. We all deserve to be punished because we've had actions and thoughts that wasn't aligned with the word. And if God treated us like we treat each other, we'd probably be all knocking on the doors of hell, right? But God loves us, and his mercy is so great and his grace that he still gives us another chance. He still is there for us. It says, have compassion on me, Lord, for I am weak. Heal me, Lord, for my bones are in agony. I'm sick at heart. I've got like 4 Bibles laying here so I can talk about these short verses. It's such a good one today in just thinking it's okay to pray. It's okay to feel bad, but what you do with that is give that to God and get in that conversation with him. When he says his bones are shaking or they're in agony, that's like our inner being. Now I've had those days that I've been so upset that I was just a nervous wreck, and that's not healthy for anybody. But when you're just overcome with something, you're just sick about it. And then this verses 1 through 3 is his prayer for grace. And then 4 through 6 is a prayer for deliverance. And I know you can relate to this also, because this just tells us how human David is. I mean, he's such a strong warrior, and he loved God, but he was human. He made mistakes. He did things he shouldn't have done, and he cried and he sobbed. Even strong men can cry. In verse 6, I am worn out from sobbing. All night I flood my bed with weeping, drenching it with my tears. My vision is blurred by grief. My eyes are worn out because of all of my enemies. So, In another version, here in the Passion Translation, in verse 6, it says, I am worn out with my weeping and groaning. Night after night I soak my pillow with tears and flood my bed with weeping. Our beds are frequently the washing place where the sheep are sheared. The bed was the place of David's sin. It became the place of his weeping. Even as Adam sinned in the garden, Jesus wept in a garden over Adam's sin. And then verse 7 says, my vision is blurred, my eyes are worn out because of all of my enemies. Now in another version it says, my eyes of faith won't focus anymore. So the Hebrew is singular in that my eye, an unlikely metaphor for the eye of his heart. David's faith was growing weak. You know, when you just feel like you're just being kicked and you just can't get yourself picked up before you're kicked again. I can understand that crying and sobbing and oh Lord, when will this end? When? Charles Spurgeon said, let us learn to think of the tears as liquid prayers, and of weeping as a constant dropping of important intercession which will wear its way right surely into the very heart of mercy, despite the stony difficulties which obstruct its way. I thought that was good. So then 8 through 10 is a proclamation of triumph. Go away, all you who do evil, for the Lord has heard my weeping. The Lord has heard my plea. The Lord will answer my prayer. May all of my enemies be disgraced. So it tells us in verse 2, have mercy on me, Lord, for I am weak. It's okay. It's okay to say that. Verses 8 through 9 is, Lord, hear my prayers and see my tears. Just let yourself be raw with the Father. And then, Father, shame those who are my enemies. I don't want to take revenge myself, Lord. You take care of that. So only God can relieve, ease, or remove our troubles and catch our tears. You remember reading Psalms 56:8. You number our wanderings, put my tears into your bottle. Are they not in your book? Prayer and relationship is our door to the mercies of God in our time of need. Psalms 5:1 that we read yesterday, Psalms 5:1. O Lord, hear me as I pray. Pay attention to my groaning. And then as well as the second and third verse of Psalms 2 from yesterday. Listen to my cry for help, my King and my God. I pray to no one but you. Listen to my voice in the morning, Lord. Each morning I bring my request to you and wait expectantly. Tying that into this for me is big, because when I pray, I'm praying expectantly. I'm praying in praise. I'm praying to glorify the Father. I'm not praying because I want something. I'm praying because of who He is. But as David prayed through this Psalms, he recognized the power, the grace, the mercy, and how God can deliver us, how He sees everything, from whether it was just one tear or a saturated pillow full of tears. This always just gives me hope for those moments that I just kind of feel down and out. It's okay to shed a tear when you're feeling bad. That doesn't mean you don't have faith. That means that you have emotions, and God created emotions. And so when those tears flow, just think of this. It's cleaning the eyes. It's just doing something to all of your senses, and it's just like a wash. And that's what I'm standing on today. Those tears are good for us, and God is great. So thank you for joining me today. Come back in the morning, and I will be back tomorrow.